I'm back on Corbeau, and what I want to do, I had this idea, and I think it's a good idea. About page 12. And I think this will also help us get to the end of the comic. So I like the Ape Legion scientist Cersei, even though he's a villain. So I'm gonna have Cersei, let me do this. This is basically how I set it up. First panel, margins. First layer, margins. Second layer is draft layer, and all I do is I reduce the opacity down to about 50% right there. That means no matter what I write on there, it'll be lighter, and I'll be able to tell it's on its own layer. All right, let's make sure I'm still on the right layer. So quote unquote pencils. This is a 4-panel sequence, and I'm not sure if I should go all long panels. I think I want to go with these first 2 panels. As fairly small panels. This is where Corbeau is running down the corridor. And he's hearing a lot of noise. So basically, what's going to happen is we have to reunite the characters. Now I had 2 choices here. Well, there's more than 2 choices always, but I thought one choice I could have Aura killed off. That would be kind of cool. She can't really be killed off because she's a Titan, so she would be reduced to just those gems. And it would, for the purposes of the comic, for this comic, she's killed off. She comes back later if I were to do that. But I actually decided not to do that. Instead, Corbeau escapes the prison, which he did in the last scene, last page. He hears the sounds of combat and he follows it to, maybe it's more than 4 panels. Something. He hears the sounds of combat and he follows it to the hangar. Or maybe another part of the lab. But what we see in this wide shot, it's 3 panels. Maybe we do it as just this one big long wide shot. There's the air sub. There's the dimensional portal somehow. And there's all the Ape Legion fighting, and Aura is just blasting them, right? So, what's going to happen is Cersei's going to activate the dimensional portal in a desperation move. Corbeau and Aura get into the DX-11, and then Cersei also gets into the DX-11 as the whole place explodes, and then the dimensional vortex sends them to some new location, and that's the end of the comic. It's the cliffhanger ending. And then eventually we make Cersei a member of the cast, so we have a cast of 3 at that point. But he'll be like the... I don't know if you ever saw Lost in Space. He'll be like the Dr. Smith of the show. He's more scientifically advanced, but completely untrustworthy. My problem is how to do this panel. It's got to be a big wide shot with the ship. Maybe the ship is really big in the foreground. I suddenly forgot how to draw it. And then, well, let's take a look. This is how you draw it. It's this ship, so it's just got this sort of crescent moon thing over here. And then when it's in the, this is the hangar where it's left. But it could have conceivably been moved. So if we leave that kind of big up in the foreground, maybe even bigger, make it really big. These are just well, maybe not. I think you really have to draw out one of the paradoxical things. If you want to make something seem epic and amazing and huge, you have to make it smaller. In the world of comics, you have to go the opposite direction so that everything is small compared to that thing. This is drawing through. Alright. But we run the risk of... How do we... If this is the vanishing point... Say this is the ship. Right up in the front here. That's where we see Aura. I could just make her head the right size. And then maybe even another one of those robots from before, like the giant gorilla robots. And then Corbeau will be back here. You know, drawn kind of small. As he's coming into the room. Now, I'm not sure I'm going to go with this. I mean, this is the nature of thumbnails, is that you can change them around, but that's a pretty good layout. The artwork's not great. It's pretty messy. Alright. So let's make the gorilla robot here, getting exploded. And she notices him right away. It says get to the ship, like she's gonna sacrifice herself somehow. So there's our gorilla robot. Something like this. Doesn't even have to be the sub bay. Like I think I even implied, I'll have to check and see if I said this. I think he even had them move seal off the sub. We may have a way back to Earth. Okay. I said seal off the sub bay. Well, that is what it is. It's the Doctor Who problem. Like, if Doctor Who can get back to his TARDIS, he can escape any of the danger he might be in, so you have to figure out a way every episode to hide the TARDIS or use it as, unless the whole point is to use the TARDIS. So something like that. And then down here, maybe much smaller, because he's on the ground and he's smaller, is Cersei. And he'll be saying something like, "No, you'll ruin everything." Now, it's just to remember what our gorilla robots look like. They're generally humanoid, with these big heads and long arms. I have a couple of them right here. Big heads, kind of flat, and they have this stance going on. Yeah, if we do this as a 3-panel, two important things have to happen. One of the things is Corbeau is completely disarmed, and all he had was the revolver anyway, so it's not like a great gun. She's gonna blast the gun out of Cersei's hand, Corbeau gets it, and that's when they make their escape. Just as the whole place explodes. But I think let's move him a little bit over. I want to give him some equipment that he's near. Okay, this is going to be like a little equipment panel. That he's near. And then, you know, hopefully it shows it all in perspective. My rudimentary perspective skills. Right? It's okay. I had a really crazy dream last night that... This is a recurring dream I've had where I end up back in the army for some reason. And I'm like, I'm never gonna, I can't run anymore, you know, I've got tendonitis in both feet, there's just no way. And they're like, no, it's a new program. And we're in some kind of Antarctic sub-zero base. I don't like either one of these feet. Let's do this foot here. So there's some kind of top secret shenanigans going on. There's Corbeau coming in the door. I don't think I have the size right. I think he would be just a little bit bigger. And he'll be just a little bit smaller. Alright, same deal here. We're going to have... He's running down the corridor. And he hears explosions. I have to get out my reference and redraw him a little bit, but... Okay, you can see where I'm going. Here's the sequence. He's running because he's just escaped the prison cell. He hears the sounds and he figures out the way to get back to the hangar, where a scene of battle is unfolding. Air Sub DX-11, Cersei, or maybe that's just a random guerrilla soldier. Maybe this robot should be even bigger. Maybe he's got like one foot out. So he's getting blasted off his feet. Like maybe the foot's going this way. The feet were like these big, robot feet. If we make this a random gorilla, when they run into the ship, they could find out that Cersei is already on board. And, like, he's hiding on board. And maybe he tries to take them hostage or something like that at the end. Which won't work, because Cersei is too powerful. But there's the idea. Okay, so we have a rough draft for page 12. Alright, just because we have some more time, I want to show you where I'm going with Lila. Since I did a little bit of Corbeau in the Lila stream, I'll do a little bit of Lila in the Corbeau. So here it is. Is that it? No. Which one is it? It's this one. So I've done a bit more. I'm actually very proud of this lettering. And I've got the bottom of this city. This is supposed to be sort of an aerial view of the city. Where is it? Rusty nib. So just this is the lower part, and then as we rise up, we're gonna see there's castle, towers, and such. You know, this ends up being like a 2 or 3 or 4-page comic. That's fine with me. If we don't end up going too far with it, I think that's probably okay. However, I wonder if I should go and get some reference, or like an enchanted castle, like a Disney castle. I mean, there's a lot of Disney to it. And I could even take my pencil layer. So you can see I've got my Pete character, which is, he's going to be inky, and this is going to be gloom. I had an alternate idea for how to, like what the plot is going to be. So I really think that the plot has to be for the first one anyways, how the Nightmare King gets released from captivity. I think we're gonna have our bad guys, they're gonna be like claiming that they've turned a new leaf. different now. And they're gonna sell an ancient scroll to Lila. And she's gonna use it. And that's gonna be the thing that brings the Nightmare King back. I think I definitely do have to get some reference though. It has to have like a Toontown aesthetic. I don't know if you remember Toontown. It was a video game back in the day when Disney put it out. And if you're familiar with the Gottfredson Mickey Mouse's, there was a certain aesthetic that the town and the buildings and everything was drawn in. Like everything looked kind of ramshackle, but kind of interesting. As you might expect in the world of comics. So when we pull the pencils off, you can start to see where we're going. All right. Oh man. All right, let me go dig up some reference for how I want to draw this castle. I think I might have to scrap some of this. Please like, follow, and subscribe, and there'll be more comics every day.